And in the cold light of day, not much of a monster. It obviously reacts to the fog, ballooning in size. What do you want to do with it? Well, we can't just release it back into the wild now, can we? It must be contained. I'm sure you have a securement unit you can use to store this deviation. Just make sure not to let it fill your home up with fog. And if my suspicions are correct, this is actually quite a valuable find. I think it will be a boost to your combat power, if used properly. Don't worry. I'll help you find a way to control this little guy. Maybe it could become the guardian of your territory.
Hey! Yeah, once I knew what happened to my team, I had no reason to stick around Deadsville anymore. The journey could have been worse, all things considered. And while business is still slow, I gotta say, it's a lot nicer to be here in Myers Market than in Deadsville. Although, the food here could really use some spicing up. For example, have you ever heard of something called sofrito? No, it's a base sauce for cooking. It used to be really popular in Latin America and the Mediterranean. Usually you cut up a bunch of garlic, onion, peppers, tomato, and cook them all together. It's supposed to be super aromatic. Ooh, or what about feijoada? I've only heard of it, but it's supposed to be this rich bean stew with beef or pork, and when you eat it... Even if you did, I don't know how to cook something like feijoada. But I do have an idea where we might be able to find some good recipes. There's an old house near Sunshine Farms to the west. The locals say an old man who was a master cook used to live there. He and his family were killed by deviants over a decade ago, but I can't help but wonder if he left any recipes behind. Obviously, I'd hate for those recipes to be lost forever, so if you can find any, then rest assured that I'll pay you well for them. Hey! Ah, so glad you brought this up. I just have another job for you if you feel up to it. Believe me, I could tell you plenty about Rosetta. But how about you do me a favor first, huh? Your former comrades in the Mayflies may have left something behind that I could use. I've got a client interested in Mayfly artifacts. One item in particular, but I'll take whatever you can find. There's always a market for that kind of thing. There's an industrial area near here, infested with deviants. The Mayflies were holed up there just before they launched their raid. I'm hoping they left behind some artifacts, maybe even the one my client is looking for. You bring me back whatever Mayfly artifacts you find, and I'll tell you what I can about Rosetta. Good luck out there.
once thriving town reduced to ruins by Starfall. Sad to think how many of them there are. I hope we can recover what Claire's looking for. If only to provide some kind of legacy for this place.
To me and your brother, Mija. Hold on to Mama.
These must be the recipes Claire was looking for. Looks like a pretty solid collection of them, too. These should be more than enough for her. Let's head back to Myers Market and give them to Claire. Assembled and prepared for the assault on Rosetta. flies have left clues for us. Let's follow their trail and see where it leads. This must be where they gathered. Let's go inside and take a look. Marco certainly understood the risks. And no doubt, he made his sister proud. So many lives lost. Men and women willing to sacrifice themselves for the greater good. It doesn't make it any easier, though.
Great, you made it back. Any luck? Teja, Alpha Whore, Chicha, mole, pico de gallo, salsa, tamales. Oh, can you believe it? Just think of all the work that went into these dishes. Fine-tuning the process over generations, getting all the ingredients, marinating, cutting, cooking it, presenting it on the table. That's what our past was like, you know? That's what we lost. Making food not just to survive, but as a joy. An art, even. I can keep this cookbook safe and try to reproduce it for future generations. You're a good egg. Here, this is your reward. And why don't you also take this to brighten up your home out in the wilderness? Hey there. So, you made it back safe from that former Mayfly base, huh? Exactly why I hired you instead of going there myself. So, find anything my client might be interested in? What's this? A letter home? Huh! My client told me she always felt a letter like this existed, but had never been sent. That's right. There's an old story about a woman who lived on an island. She would light a lamp every night for her brother, who she knew would be sailing home. And every night, she waited by the lamp, though her brother never returned. Still, the light shone in the window, dispelling the darkness for her and guiding others back home. Point is, some sacrifices are worth remembering, and this is one of those. Thank you. I have some gifts for you. Weapons and armor mods. They're nothing fancy, but they should get the job done for now. Besides sourcing collectibles, I also dabble in some black market trading to supplement my income. Don't you dare tell anyone that I'm charitable, because I'm not. But I think you could use these more than my usual clients. In case you don't know how they work, I have some manuals that might help.